Senator Bernardi joins us now from our Adelaide studio. Many thanks for your time this morning, Senator.
Well, good morning, Bev, and thank you for the invitation to join you, and thank you for the interest in my book, The Conservative Revolution.
Let's talk about your book. Why the decision to publish now?
Well, I firmly believe that the battle of ideas is an important one for politicians to engage in, and as a backbench member, I'm entitled, and I think it's the right and responsibility of every member of the Parliament to engage in, the battle of ideas, and that's what I've sought to do.
These are controversial ideas, one would have to say. Does Tony Abbott know about your book? Does he know about the views that you've expressed in this book?
Well, I can't comment on what Tony Abbott knows or doesn't know, but what I would say is the book was published in December of last year, and it's been reviewed on a number of occasions. It's met with, plaudits and brickbats according to people's political views, or their views on social issues. But what I would say is this, that I think it's absolutely critical that politicians are prepared to discuss ideas that are controversial, because otherwise we are stuck with a tyranny, I guess, of political correctness, which is a stifling doctrine, and it's something that I think we need to rebel against in this country, and that's the revolution I'm calling for.
Let's talk through some of the issues that you have raised in your book, and let's start with abortion, because that is what is getting the headlines. Some very strong language, pro-death, you have said, an abhorrent form of birth control. Is that your belief?
Well, Bev, you would know that in the preamble to the book I talk about the language that's used in it, and I say that I'm not going to hide behind ambiguous words, and I would be very direct about it. And the section that deals with abortion is in respect to the rights culture, I guess, that's happening in this country, where we have everyone claiming a particular right, and we now are brought into a determination where we need to make assessments about whose rights should prevail. And I make the point that the one single right, the most fundamental right, which is the right to life, is the one thing that we're not able to talk about. And it is a disturbing topic. It's very emotive, and it's emotive because, we're talking about the lives of up to 100,000 unborn children. One in 5 pregnancies in this country are being terminated. I think that's a cause for concern.
I'd like to ask you about your figures and where you have those statistics, because this is important when we need to have evidence to back up your belief that A, abortion has been used as birth control, and B, that these are growing numbers. I'm looking at figures here that suggest abortion rates in Australia have in fact gone down to 51,000, and that was from a high in 2008 of 72,000. So what evidence do you have that in fact these numbers are growing?
Well, it's very difficult to get the exact evidence, but what I would put to you is this.
That these are official, hang on a second, sorry. These are official data.
Yeah.
Do you not go and search for this kind of information to back up your argument?
No, indeed I do, and the book is completely referenced, and in fact it acknowledges that in recent years there seems to be a decline in the Medicare claims for abortion. I'm sure you would have picked that up in your reading of it. But what I would say is this, that in evidence given by successive health ministers, when Kay Patterson, I was looking at some evidence in Senate estimates just recently, she was suggesting that there was 90,000 plus abortions in this country. The estimates are between 70 and 100,000. So it's a lot, and I don't know anyone in this country that wants to see more abortions. In fact, I think most people would like to see less abortions. I certainly would, and I think we need to start to investigate measures and ways in which we can assist in that regard.
Now, if we can move to the rights issue that you've talked about, Roe versus Wade is now 1974. It's well over 30 years old, even older. Haven't we had this conversation about whose rights it is, that it is a woman's right? Well,
we've had the conversation, but it has been shut down in many respects as abortion has become more popular, I would guess. It's probably the wrong word, but as it's become more prevalent. Who would have thought when abortion was legalised in this country many decades ago that originally it was designed to protect the health and welfare of the mother. Now we have, as I said, up to 100,000 abortions every year. You can have them at any stage of the pregnancy. We have circumstances where doctors can be prosecuted if they won't refer people for abortion, and we're having people that are having abortions
but the conversation about rights has been run and argued through the courts, even that it is a woman's right. It doesn't stop the conversation.
Bev, in my first speech to the Parliament 7 years ago, I spoke about the rights agenda and how people are putting, the word rights attached to everything. I think that the right to life is a fundamental one. I celebrate the fact that, a child is born or effectively created from the moment of conception, and I think